Well, if the professor Dr. Suhair divided his students into groups, as I just said a while ago, and these groups communicated with each other, and these groups cooperated in some parts and shared in other parts, then flipped learning became smooth learning. This in brief. Because active learning is about the aspect of sharing and collaboration. Mix flipped learning with collaborative learning, and you can call them active learning. In active learning, learners can communicate and team up. Is active learning part of flipped learning or more? Is it just a part? If flipped learning includes collaborative elements, it becomes active learning. Adding cooperative learning confuses people. Teachers mix them up. Cooperative and collaborative learning differ. If everything is clear, can we say active learning is part of flipped learning, or is it more? Is flipped learning part of active learning? How can I frame this? I can say it's part of it. Flipped learning includes collaborative learning. It becomes active learning. Adding cooperative learning, people often confuse the two. Teachers mix them up. Cooperative and collaborative learning have distinct characteristics. Combining both with flipped learning in the curriculum leads to active learning. Dr. Muqaddam asks a question. The last one is I need to wrap up. I've been talking for 2 hours and need 5 minutes to drink water. Are these terms mixed up? Dr. Saleh, just wait. If I add cooperative learning, I'm not talking about collaborative learning. They're often confused. Incorporating both in the curriculum with flipped learning leads to active learning. Dr. Muqaddam asks a question. Are these terms mixed up? Dr. Saleh, please wait. If I take both cooperative and collaborative learning in some parts of the curriculum along with flipped learning, then I can reach active learning. Here, Dr. Muqaddam is asking a question. And this is the last question because I need to wrap up. I've been talking for 2 hours and I need at least 5 minutes to drink some water. Can we say that? These terms are all mixed up? Dr. Saleh, just wait a moment. Active learning strategies involve various methods. Dr. Saleh, you start with $1, meaning you talk to me in the chat. Can we alternate the video between Dr. Info and questions guiding research? No. Dr. Muqaddam, I've strayed from the learning philosophy. It requires complete content. Weak content is unacceptable because the teacher won't explain. Can we alternate video info and questions to guide student research? Yes, doctor, but there's a problem. No, Dr. Muqaddam, I've strayed from the learning philosophy. Learning philosophy requires complete content for students. I can guide them to research issues. That's fine. Weak content is unacceptable as the teacher won't explain, right, Dr. Muqaddam? After the video, the teacher solves problems, answers questions, and helps with assignments. Flipped learning gives teachers a different role than traditional e-learning. Traditional e-learning is conventional. The philosophy of learning requires providing students with complete content. I can guide them to research issues. That's fine. But weak or lacking content is unacceptable because the teacher won't explain, right? Dr. Muqaddam, after the video, the teacher solves problems, answers questions, and helps with assignments. Flipped learning gives the teacher a different role than traditional e-learning, which is more conventional. In flipped e-learning, the video contains complete content and explanation. The teacher guides students to important parts to research. The topic should be complete. No gaps as the teacher won't explain, right? Dr. Muqaddam, the teacher answers questions and helps with assignments. Is that clear, Dr. Muqaddam? The point is clear. After the video, the teacher solves problems, answers questions, and helps with assignments. In flipped learning, the teacher's role differs from traditional e-learning, which is more conventional. In flipped e-learning, the teacher provides the student with a video as a medium that contains the complete content and explanation. They can guide them to some important parts or issues they need to research. The key point is that the topic should be complete. There shouldn't be any gaps in the information because the teacher won't explain, right, Dr. Muqaddam? The teacher will answer questions and help with assignments and solve problems. Is that clear, Dr. Muqaddam? The important thing is that the point is clear. All right, let's go to Dr. Abdul Hakim. Dr. Abdul Hakim, are these the only strategies or are there others? No, there are others. These are just the most popular ones. The most commonly used strategies include others: flipped learning, discussions, collaborative learning, participatory learning, online brainstorming, projects, educational games, programmed learning, discovery. Those taking professional certification in leadership or design will find this information. Self-learning, assessment, flipped learning, discussions, collaborative learning, participation, online brainstorming, projects, educational games, programmed learning, discovery. I wanted to include strategies important in the kingdom. These aren't the only ones. There are others. There are other things, but these are most prominent. Most prominent are required learning, virtual classrooms, and collaboration. They are most significant. Problem solving is used little. So I also wanted to include some strategies in the content that might be important in the kingdom, all right? But these aren't the only ones. There are many others. There are several other things as well, but these are the most prominent, as you said. In fact, the most prominent among them are required learning, virtual classrooms, and collaborative learning. They are the most significant in this list. Even problem solving is used very little. Online discovery as well. Projects are used more than them, honestly, Dr. Abdul Hakim. All right, did everything get clarified? Should I move on to something new, Dr. Abdul Hakim, or what? Should I take a break? All right, fine. Okay. Dr. Allah said it's done. All right, fine. All right, let's continue our discussion about the part related to strategies. We talked about flipped learning, and we mentioned that it also involves a kind of collaboration between the teacher and the student, right? I mean, the teacher guides the student and provides them with specific videos or certain resources. The student responds to him and becomes interested in the educational process and works on it and fixes things and studies, and then returns to the teacher to solve his problems and see the new ideas they have and solve the questions with him. So there's collaboration, teacher-student. I can provide group activities. The spirit of cooperation and active participation through flipped learning is fine. What we've achieved is great. I'll take a break after Dr. Abdul Hakim's talk to discuss new things. Okay, before the new topic, give me a minute to drink some water as I've talked for 2 hours and I'm sweating. Just a minute to drink water, then we'll start. Okay. All right. Before we dive into something new, just allow me a minute to drink some water because I've been talking for 2 hours and I'm starting to sweat a bit. So just a minute to drink some water and we'll start again in a minute, okay? Just so no one asks why the sound cut off, just 1 minute.